Many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, is it worth it to buy a theme booster? Theme boosters were introduced back in Dominaria, but have changed time and time again, even containing exclusive standard legal rares for a while. And while that currently is no longer the case, at other points in the theme booster history, they have featured exclusive uncommons that were standard legal, though recently this has been changed again, and so this updated review seems quite necessary just to figure out what these offer. And just who are theme boosters intended for? Players new to the game? Casuals? Those who are looking to pick up a few for 1v1 Magic? Perhaps collectors? With Commander decks now coming out with each new set, many of those audiences, if not all, might be better served just sticking with that pre-constructed item. Are these more like booster packs or mini decks? Let's take a look. A theme booster contains the following: 35 Magic the Gathering cards of the same color or theme from the titular set. Of those 35, 34 are a varying number of commons and uncommons. But unlike a draft booster, the ratio of commons to uncommons is not set. So each theme booster pack will have a different number of commons and uncommons. Theme boosters do contain one guaranteed rare or mythic. However, 1 out of every 10 packs will have a second rare. So there is a 1 in 10 chance that a pack will have 33 commons and uncommons instead of 34, and 2 rares or mythics. Each theme booster also contains one quote-unquote booster fun variant card. This can appear at any rarity, but note that if it is a rare card, it will replace the rare in the pack. So the Booster Fun variant card, while it can be a rare, will not ever count as a bonus rare. Fun, huh? Since Wizards of the Coast no longer openly divulges MSRP, we will have to turn to big box stores like Target and Walmart, where we can see these sell for $7.49 each, which is more or less the price of 2 draft booster packs. Please note, of course, that is the MSRP of big box stores, which do not typically discount items. Your local game store, however, might be offering these for less, so go check with them. Maybe they're not selling and they're trying to clear them off the shelves. Before our assessment begins, let's examine how these packs operate. The number of commons and uncommons vary between packs due to the particular sort of collation involved in their creation. As the name suggests, they are collated, supposedly, by theme. What exactly is this theme? Well, it's a little hard to say, as the box seldom says, beyond of course mentioning the color that contains that theme, but it can be mechanical or tribal or aesthetic, linking the commons, uncommons, and 1 to 2 rares in this way. Some of these packs, however, are advertised by their theme, not just their colors. With Innistrad Crimson Vow, for example, one of those themes included vampires, which is a very popular tribe, and this was actually advertised on the packaging. This sort of theming has occurred in a number of sets previously. For example, Ikoria had monsters, Zendikar Rising had party, Kaldheim had Vikings, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms had dungeons, though no dragons, which you think that would have been a pretty obvious one. The theme packs that are marked with what their theme is appear to be more popular with the player base. I actually couldn't get a hold of the Vampires theme from this current set, as it was the only one sold out at all my local game stores. That actually makes a lot of sense to me. If there's a fun concept within the pack, and the concept is labeled on the pack, it lets people have control over what they're going to open up without having to worry about a theme that doesn't fit their personal style or desire. As of the filming of this video, there has only been one of these marked special theme boosters per set. That's why there was dungeons and not dragons, and why there is vampires and not, oh, I don't know, werewolves. And yes, that does seem like a missed opportunity to me. Not just in terms of the fact that a werewolf-themed theme booster would be very popular by itself, but wouldn't it be fun to be able to pick up the vampire-themed booster and the werewolf-themed booster and play them against each each other for some tribal wars. It actually strikes me as being more interesting to, instead of just having 5 to 6 different theme boosters, have 2 with themes that are balanced for fighting against one another. Oh wait, that's a discontinued product called Dual Decks, which were pretty good. Themes aren't the only gimmick these boosters have had throughout their history. As briefly mentioned earlier, in the past there have been theme booster exclusive rares and uncommons. The most recent example of this was earlier this year with Kaldheim. Now, these exclusive cards have been made standard legal, though as far as I can tell, they've never had much impact, meaning that they're not desirable. This is an old debate of mine. I had it with the Planeswalker decks, where my feeling is that if a card is so bad that it's not actually going to see competitive play, then it doesn't really make it a big selling point of the theme pack, which is probably why I can't, without research, name what any of these exclusive rares or uncommons are, and I doubt you can either, or even know they existed. So if the card that you're designing as an exclusive for the boosters is pretty worthless and undesirable, why are you bothering designing it? So yes, theme boosters remind me a lot of Planeswalker decks, old intro packs, and of course, dual decks, or at least half of a dual deck. And when a product is reminiscent of those, it is a reason for alarm, particularly when that product suffers by comparison. But these really aren't half a dual deck. For example, with half a dual deck, you had a full deck, and these theme boosters have no lands, so they are not playable right out of the pack. There are other comparisons that could be made to Planeswalker decks, the old intro packs, but again, those too had lands in them. This is less, and that is what I see when I look at this, especially given the price that at least Wizards of the Coast would like these to go for. You're paying a lot more, and all you're getting is a 1 out of 10 chance at another rare, and I guess some kind of theme to the commons and uncommons. But wouldn't it be great if these had lands in them and we could rip it open and play it against one another? But then again, wouldn't it be great if there was more than one rare in it? And again, we come back to that idea of the dual deck. The dual deck also, in comparison, had multiple rares and reprints from older sets, really fun themes. Well, yes, some of them were hit and miss depending on how they were designed. They were $19.99 each. In other words, you were getting 2 decks for the price of what's pretty much 2 of these theme boosters. And so again, in comparison, it feels like these theme boosters are less. Planeswalker decks, a product I really was not a fan of, cost more or less the same as a theme booster, and though it didn't have much in the way of cards other than an intentionally unplayable Planeswalker at the front, they did at least come with a couple booster packs. So all in all, there's more rares, more cards, and something that has a semblance of playability out of the box. In terms of gameplay, I have added lands and shuffled up and played with a lot of these theme boosters over the years. Gameplay is grindy at best. They don't seem to be designed as decks. It's simply linking commons and uncommons of some sort of theme, and many times that theme is one that I'm only guessing at. It certainly isn't put together based off of synergy or playability or being something that is balanced against another theme booster. Maybe it's just meant as a way to get a bunch of cards, but again, those cards are predominantly commons, maybe some more uncommons, and a chance 1 out of 10 of getting as many rares as you would as if you bought 2 draft boosters at more or less the same price, though this is technically a little bit more. Who is this product for? I'm not really sure. Final conclusion. When compared to the multitude of alternatives, both present and past, theme boosters contain very little relevance to just about any player, new or old, and very little worth. Draft boosters provide the same number of rares per dollar, and at least can be played with in a higher quantity. Commander Precon decks might cost a lot more than a theme booster, but they offer a lot more, including a playable out-of-the-box experience. Arena Starter decks are 2 playable decks out of the box with more rares and more value, and yeah, they're available at about the same price. You can see my review on them here. So I just don't see what type of Magic player is going to be interested in or benefit from these theme boosters. At best, new players can use this as an acceptable starting point, but then it must be assumed that they have both the knowledge to add basic lands and have access to them. And while I suppose experienced players can still build casual decks out of them, or even use them as a jumping off point for getting an influx of cards to their collection for a new set, it seems like the least interesting thing for said experienced player. In the past, I begrudgingly gave these a passing grade, but as we've refined so many other parts of our pre-constructed experience, from those starter kits to the commander precons, theme boosters just seem like a relic of the past. And I'm going to say that my updated grade on these is a D for do not buy. They are not worth it as far as I can see. I hope very much this video has been of some help to you. You can help me out very much just by watching one more video on my channel, hitting subscribe, leaving a comment, or maybe just sharing with a friend. But remember, whether you are buying a theme booster this holiday season, whether you are buying draft packs, set packs, collector boosters, commander precons, or any number of the other Magic the Gathering products available, when it is possible, when it is reasonable to do so, please spend that money at your local game store. You're supporting your Magic community when you do.